everyone, my name is Twinkle and I welcome you all to the channel of Next IAS. Well, we are in middle of the series wherein we are discussing certain important questions, of current importance for the upcoming Prelims 2022. We're not just solving the questions, but we are also trying to cover and know about the topics, through the questions. I hope you guys are doing great and your preparations has been fantastic till date. So keep up the good work. And without wasting any time, I will be starting with question number 1 here, right? So, question number 1 here says that consider the following statements. So, what are the statements? So, it talks about capital expenditure involves an expenditure that does not add to assets or reduce liabilities. So, here we are talking about capital expenditure, right? But obviously, it's dealing with the subject of economy, okay? And next, it's talking about revenue expenditure. It says that revenue expenditure is incurred with the purpose of increasing assets of a durable nature or of reducing recurring liabilities. Here it says it does not add to the assets, okay? Here it says it is with the purpose of increasing assets of a durable nature. Well, to solve this question, let me tell you that only 2 things are required. Knowledge about capital expenditure, knowledge about revenue expenditure. So, we'll be covering it as a whole, like a topic as a whole about the capital and revenue expenditure, right? So, if I tell you about this particular thing, first of all, I would want to tell you about expenditure. Okay, I'm telling you about the expenditure. What is expenditure? Expenditure means, the money which is spent on any goods or services. That is expenditure. So, what is expenditure? Expenditure is the money spent on any goods or services. Okay. So, this is one thing. Apart from this, you need to know that expenditure are then of 2 types. The one we are talking about is the capital expenditure. Okay. The other one is the revenue expenditure. Right. So, capital expenditure and revenue expenditure are the 2 types of expenditures. Okay. If I talk about capital expenditure is the expenditure which is done to enhance the value of a asset or an existing asset, whereas revenue expenditure does not enhance the value of an asset in any way. So now, if I have to define capital expenditure, I can say that capital expenditure is the expenditure that either creates an assets or reduces the liability of the government, right? That is capital expenditure. Now, if I talk about the revenue expenditure, I say that revenue expenditure is the expenditure that neither creates an asset and neither reduces the liability of the government. Okay. But in this case, it is either creating an asset or it is reducing the liability of the government. Okay. So, capital and revenue expenditure. I want you to know certain more things about this particular topic. Okay. So, if I talk about capital expenditure and revenue expenditure, we see that capital expenditure is the cost to acquire. Okay. Capital expenditure is the cost to acquire and improved fixed assets, right? Acquire and improved fixed assets. If I talk about revenue expenditure, it says it is the cost of running everyday business. Let me give you an example here. Here, if there is a factory and I am buying a machinery, I am buying a huge machinery for a factory, then that becomes my capital expenditure, right? Why? Because it is adding up or enhancing the asset And what is the asset here? My factory is the asset. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. Well, I'm trying to convey it in a very simple way, right? So, that is capital expenditure. If I'm adding a machinery to the factory, or factory is the asset itself, that is enhancing the value of my existing asset, that is capital expenditure, right? Now, if I talk about revenue expenditure here, we see that if the revenue expenditure, if we have to understand it through an example, we see that revenue expenditure, okay, we see that revenue expenditure is the salaries, okay, the salaries for the employees comes under the revenue expenditure, right? Next, I can say the maintenance of the roads, street lights, okay. So, these are all an example of the revenue expenditure of the government budget, right? Revenue expenditure in the government budget and capital expenditure in the government budget, right? So, this is the thing. Now, let us see, its purpose is to increase the long-term profitability of the business. Of course, okay, long-term profitability is obtained by capital expenditure. Here, it is like short-term needs. Like I told you, it's short-term needs, it is fulfilling just the short-term needs to run the business on a daily basis. It is not required on a frequent basis. Okay, so this we can understand by saying that, capital expenditure, this particular point, we can understand this by saying that capital expenditure are non-recurring, okay, non-recurring, and they are not regular. They are not fixed at a regular intervals. But here it is recurring in nature. It is recurring in nature, plus they are coming at regular intervals. Like you can just make it out with the example that I gave you. Payment of the salaries of the employees. Of course, that's coming at regular intervals and that is recurring in nature, right? Regular intervals. Right? I hope this is clear to you. It is recorded in the balance sheet as a fixed asset and it is recorded as an expense. Okay. Its cost is expensed gradually over the useful life of the asset, okay, because it is adding to the asset. So yeah, that's the scene, that the cost is expensed gradually over the useful life of the asset itself. Here its cost is charged as an expense because it's not adding to the asset, it's just an expense, okay, expense done for running the daily business over a particular asset, right? So this is one thing. I hope this is clear to you. Now we shall go back to the question and check the options. And let's check. Right. Now it says capital expenditure involves any expenditure that does not add to the assets or reduce liabilities. Absolutely wrong. It is, okay, wrong. It adds to the asset. It adds to assets and reduces the liabilities of the government. Revenue expenditure is incurred with the purpose of increasing assets of a durable nature or of reducing recurring liabilities. No, it neither reduces the liabilities, neither adds to the existing assets. So, this is also wrong, right? Both the statements are wrong. And I told you the correction. What could be the right statement here in question number 1? Please go and comment in the comment box, okay? Now, neither 1, neither 2. So, D is the right option. Let's go ahead with next question. Well, question number 2 is talking about Delhi Declaration, which was in the news recently, is related to what? Whether it's a COVID protocol, it's about good governance, it's about a security dialogue on Afghanistan, or it's like dealing with the values that would form the main part of the Commonwealth's membership criteria. Well, we don't know that, but before we start discussing this particular question or the topic of Delhi Declaration, we should be knowing that what it is relating to. So, first of all, Delhi Declaration relates to the security dialogue on Afghanistan. Well, we all are well aware that Afghanistan has been facing a lot of issue, okay. Afghanistan-Taliban issue has been prominently in news since the past few months, okay. So, we are aware of it. And that is why India had invited some Central Asian countries, okay, to participate in a meeting or a conference or a summit, that we can say, to talk or to have a dialogue on the security of Afghanistan. So what was actually there, we shall see. So it's basically a Delhi regional security dialogue. So it's a security dialogue. It's a regional security dialogue. Okay, it is NSA level dialogue, National Security Advisor. So National Security Advisor from all of the Central Asian countries who were invited, countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, like Turkmenistan, they all participated in the summit, right? China did not participate. China denied to participate. And of course, Pakistan also did not participate. Pakistan also denied to participate in this particular meeting. Okay, and it was chaired by our National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Okay, and the agenda of the meeting was to talk about, okay, terrorism, to talk about drug trafficking and the radicalization. That was actually the scenes, or actually the situation that could arise after Taliban takes over Afghanistan, right? So we need to understand, first of all, I'll tell you what was the meeting talking about. So the meeting was broadly talking about the meeting was mainly talking about having an inclusive government. Inclusive government. Okay. Next, the meeting was talking about providing humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid to the people of Afghanistan. Then, it was talking about having a strong stand against terrorism. Okay, so that was the case. I can say that this was the core of the meeting. Okay, this was the core of the entire Delhi Declaration dialogue. So, inclusive government. Now, it was said that Taliban should consider all the sections of the society. Okay, it should consider all the sections of the society and form an inclusive government. Okay, and form an inclusive government. So that is the meaning of inclusive government, where consideration to all the sections of the society is given equally without any discrimination or any biased approach. Right? Taliban should also treat women well and allow women participation, and that will lead to inclusive government. That was one of the point of discussion. Humanitarian aid. Of course, we know the sufferings of the people in Afghanistan. Okay, so India was initiating to provide humanitarian aid to the people of Afghanistan, and other countries also had their input on this same issue. Now, terrorism. Well, this is the issue which is bothering all of the countries. Okay, especially the Central Asian countries. So it was said that Taliban should not provide a safe haven. Okay, safe haven to terrorism. Like we know the previously what was the condition. Okay, it was terrorism was just going on its peak, and the countries were suffering, people were suffering. Okay, so it's absolutely a threat to the countries. Okay, especially to the neighboring countries, and that is something which brought this particular agenda in the most particular agenda in the highlight of the situation, right? Now, apart from that, if I say why India is concerned because India might face the cross-border terrorism. Okay, India could be a victim of cross-border terrorism because Afghanistan and Pakistan share a huge boundary. Okay, Afghanistan and Pakistan, because they share a huge boundary, and India might be affected if safe haven is provided to terrorism in the land of Afghanistan, right? So India might be a victim of cross-border terrorism, and that is why that is a matter of concern for the Indians. So that's all about this question. I hope this must have been clear to all of you. Let's go ahead and take question number 3 now. So now we'll be taking question number 3 here. Question number 3 talks about KV Kamath Committee. It says that what is the aim of the KV Kamath Committee, which was seen recently in the news? Okay. So what is the aim of KV Kamath Committee, which was recently seen in the news? It was set up by RBI to restructure corporate loans. Was that the aim? We shall check. It is about, it aims to have agricultural credit system, we don't know still. To develop international retail business at the International Financial Service Center, we'll check. To review the guidelines on television rating agency, TRAI, that's what we call it, right? So is it about this, or this? First of all, who is KV Kamath? KV Kamath is the former chairman of ICICI, okay? Apart from that, we need to know about the committee's objective, okay? So this committee was set up by the RBI to restructure corporate loans. Now, if I say restructuring corporate loans, what does that mean? The term restructuring the loans means that the borrower, okay, the borrower goes to the lender to negotiate, to renegotiate, I should say, or to request to modify the terms of the loans, right? Why this has been done? So as to avoid the default. What is default? Like, you know, there may be some companies, and especially due to the pandemic, there are so many sectors which are suffering, right? And people who have taken loans from the bank may not be able to repay that, okay, pay back the loan. That might put that particular customer or that particular borrower in the default list, right? The NP of the bank might also increase in case the loan doesn't come back to the bank, okay? We'll discuss about that in detail. So that is what is restructuring of the loan is, to go and modify or renegotiate over the terms of the loans from the lender, okay? So there is a negotiation involved between the lender and the borrower, okay? That's what we call it as restructure of loans. So here we are talking about restructuring of corporate loans specifically, okay? So that was the recommendation given by, that was the proposal given by KV Kamath committee. Now, if we talk about KV Kamath committee, we know that it has also given certain recommendations about bad banks, okay? In the past, it has given certain recommendations about bad banks to deal with stressed assets. Now, I want you to know what is bad banks, because that's quite an interesting thing and I think you should be knowing it, okay? Now, if I talk about bad banks, it's a very lengthy concept. I'll try to, give you the shortcut most explanation which is desired here. So, if I take an example, okay, if I say this is an individual, okay, this is another individual. So there are group of individuals, right? So this is the group of individuals who have a lot of asset, okay, who have a lot of money, who have a lot of asset. So now this is the bank. This is the bank. So these people have a lot of asset, these people have a lot of money. So what they do? They give it to the bank, okay? They deposit in the bank, okay? They deposit in the bank. Now, their money is kept with the bank, okay? Safe and secure. Bank gives the guarantee of keeping their deposited amount safe and secure. Now, bank, what does the bank do? Bank will go and find out another set of people, okay? This is some other set of people, okay? This is some other set of people. Now, these are the people who are in need of money, okay? So, what will bank do? Bank will give them money. They go to the bank, they ask the bank to give them money. And what is it called? It's called like getting loan from the bank, okay? It's called as getting loan from the bank. So, the bank gives the loan. The bank gives the loan to this group of people. Now, the bank is giving some interest to this group, okay? Bank is giving, for example, if they have deposited rupees 100, okay, the bank returns rupees 105, okay? That's what we get interest from the bank if there's amount kept in the bank account, right? Now, these people who have taken loan from the bank will be giving interest to the bank, okay? For example, they have taken a loan of rupees 100 from the bank, they will have to return rupees 110. They will have to return rupees 110 to the bank. Now, what will the bank do? What will the bank do? That's interesting here. How is the bank working? So, bank is getting a profit of rupees 5-year, right? So this is just a simple example to make the concept clear, right? So bank is earning 5 rupees here, okay? So that's how the bank works. Now, there is another situation coming in between. That's what you need to know. The other situation is, what if this person is paying back the loan, this person is paying back the loan, this person is not paying back the loan, and this person says ki my business is completely facing the loss and everything, pandemic situation has affected, and there has been very unusual circumstances taking place and I cannot give back the loan, okay? Now, whenever bank is giving the loan, there are certain assets, okay? It's giving the loan against the asset, okay? जैसे पता होगा आप लोगों को, some land, or the bank checks the assets of the person before giving the loan. Now, this person must have shown certain assets to the bank before, getting the loan approved, right? These assets of these people are with the bank, okay? But they're unable to give the, but they're unable to repay the loan, right? Now, in this case, what happens? The bank has a lot of assets of the people, okay? And situations like this, these are called as non-performing assets. And situations like this, what actually happens in situations like these is the bank value, okay? The bank value is reduced as soon as the non-performing assets are increased, okay? So more the non-performing assets, the bank value is reducing. Now that is causing another stress, okay? So these are all, we are talking about the stressed assets or the non-performing assets. Now, to deal with all this situation, what is happening? We have created the bad bank system, okay? Now, if I tell you about the bad bank concept, okay? The bad bank concept. Of course, this is a little complicated thing to understand, but if you just pay attention for another 2 to 3 minutes, you'll be able to get it. So, bad bank, there are two bodies involved. One is NARCL, okay, NARCL. Other one is IDRCL, okay. Now, what is the role of NARCL? We should be clear with that. What is the role of IDRCL? First of all, let me tell you what does this mean. This means National Asset Reconstruction Company. Reconstruction Company Limited, okay. This means India Death Resolution Company Limited, right? So these two bodies are involved in the bad bank thing. Now you need to understand the roles, okay? What is the role of NARCL and what is the role of IDRCL? Now what happens? People who are failing to pay back the loan, they have shown certain assets, okay, against which they have acquired the loan. Now those assets are with the bank. Now bank cannot do anything with those assets, right? Because it's not the duty of the bank to look after the assets. So there is a formation of this body, NARCL. So, in case there was some property or any kind of land which was kept with the bank, it is acquired by or it is purchased by NARCL, right? Now, NARCL takes away all the assets which is with the bank, and IDRCL takes the responsibility of selling those assets and recovering some money, okay, and then giving it to the bank. So the stress, okay, the distress condition of the bank is reduced, okay. I hope you get the concept, okay. This is purchasing the assets from the bank, and this is taking the responsibility to sell off the purchased assets and recovering the amount and giving it to the bank, okay. This is the role of bad bank system, to deal with the stressed assets, to deal with the NPA, non-performing assets. If I say, now if you have to remember what is bad bank, in short, I'll tell you, it's about bad bank, okay. Of course, the name is bad bank, but it's doing a lot of good to the banking system, right? So bad bank is NaRCl plus IDRCl. If these two bodies are coming together, they give birth to bad bank, right? This plus this is equal to bad bank. And I've told you the role of this, okay? You might read it, but I've tried my level best to explain in the shortcut most method to all of you. Please be careful about that, okay? And you might take a read and have an in-depth analysis of the same. Now we'll be going to question number 4. Question number 4 says, with reference to the decentralized apps, consider the following statements. dApps has a higher computing power than regular apps, okay? Second statement says, even if some network nodes go down, the dApp system will continue to function normally. Third statement says, dApps are more vulnerable to cyber attacks. First of all, we need to know what is dApps, okay? So if I tell you what is dApps, so dApps are something which is running in a decentralized manner. These are decentralized applications. That is why dApps. That's why we call it as dApps. Decentralized means there is not a central control, okay? There is not a central control. Rather, there is a distributed network involved. There is a distributed network involved, okay? So, that is about dApp, okay? The decentralized apps. Now, if we see regular applications, the regular applications has a centralized server and then the further processing, right? But here there is no centralized server. That is why we call it as decentralized apps, okay? I hope this is clear to you. Now, to understand this particular thing, that how the decentralized applications are different from regular applications, this is the chart which will make it easy for all of you to understand. The user interacts with a traditional program or a code-based thing, okay? So, it's a program-based or a code-based technology application. Regular applications are program-based or code-based. But dApps are based on blockchain technology, okay? It is based on blockchain technology. Now, if it is based on blockchain technology, you should be very clear that they are, of course, more safe and not so vulnerable as that of regular applications, right? So, they are less vulnerable to cyber attacks. The backend is made up of centralized servers. Yes, I told you there is centralized system, but here there is distributed, okay? There is distributed across, they are distributed across multiple systems, okay? And there is no central control, okay? Lower computing power than apps. This has lower computing, of course, decentralized applications, because the technology it adopts, it has higher computing, okay? Next, one thing I would want to tell you is that regular applications might not work, okay, might not work at all when the servers are down or under maintenance or any such issue arises. Whereas in decentralized applications or dApps, even if one node in the network is online, the applications will work, okay. So this is one thing. So it makes dApps more reliable in a way, we can say that. It won't work if the servers are down. Yeah, I've discussed this. If the servers are down, it won't work. But even if some network nodes go down, okay, and if even one node is online, they will function normally. So, of course, they are more reliable. I can say that they are more reliable. If I say what is the example of decentralized app, then we can say Bitcoin. Of course, this is altogether a very different topic and a very topic of a lot of depth. So, maybe we can discuss this sometime later. But you need to remember, this is an example of decentralized applications, okay? Like I told you, like regular apps are less secure and more vulnerable. We've already discussed. These are less vulnerable and less prone to cyber attacks, okay? So, this is all about the decentralized applications, okay? Now, I hope this is clear to all of you. Let us go to the question and see the options. dApps has higher computing power than regular apps. Of course, we saw that, okay, because of the technology it adopts. Even if some network nodes go down, the dApp system will continue to work normally, yes. But in case of regular applications, this is not the case. Even if the server is under maintenance or the server is down, the applications won't work at all. dApps are more vulnerable to cyber attacks. Absolutely wrong. They are less vulnerable as compared to the regular applications. Regular applications, okay? That's, I hope, clear to you. And we know that dApps adopt what? They adopt this blockchain technology, okay? They are based on blockchain technology, okay? Whereas regular apps we discuss, they are based on codes or programs, right? I hope this is clear to all of you. So 1 and 2 are correct. 1 and 2 only. Option A is the right option, right? A is the right option. So now I'll take question number 5 here. Question number 5 says, consider the following statements. The collagen system is prescribed in the Constitution. It consists of the Chief Justice of India with 2 senior-most judges. National Judicial Appointment Commission Act 2014 was brought to replace this commission. Okay. Now, first of all, we need to know what is collegiate system. In case you don't know, we'll just have a quick revision of the collegiate system, and then we shall also discuss the 3 judges cases which completely relates to this collegiate system. Now, what is collegiate system? Collegiate system is a system, okay, or a group of people made to decide over the appointments of the Supreme Court judges and the transfer of the High Court judges, right? I hope this is clear to you. Now, when we talk about collegiate system, there comes the existence of 3 judges case, okay? 3 judges case. Now, what is it? The first judge case. There is first judge case, okay? There is second judge case, and then there is the third judge case, okay? So 1, 2, 3, that is why it is called as 3 judges cases, because there are 3 cases involved. Here, this came in the year 1982, somewhere it's mentioned as 1981 as well. The second one came in the year 1993, the third one came in the year 1998. Now, be careful when you listen to this particular discussion. In the first judge case, it was not confirmed whether the opinion shared by the collegium, okay, the opinion shared by the group of people, the collegium system to the president for the appointment of the Supreme Court judge or the transfer of the High Court judge, whether it will be binding or not non-binding. So that was not clear at all, right? So one more thing, this is also called as the SP Gupta case, okay, SP Gupta case. So that was the thing which was whether binding or non-binding, right? I hope this is clear to you. In the second judge case, it was then made clear that the first journey of the opinion or the recommendation made by the collegium to the president is not binding, but the second journey is binding. What I mean is, if the recommendation is given to the president, but the president gives it back, okay, for any kind of reconsideration, so that is not binding. The president is, it's not necessary that at the very first the president must go through it or just approve it anyway, okay. But the second journey, if the president is sending back for reconsideration and there are no modifications and no changes made, then it is binding, okay. The first journey is non-binding, second journey is binding. I hope this is clear to you. So that was made. But there was one thing, one interesting thing is, the time taken by the president was not prescribed, okay. The president can take as long as he wants to decide over the thing, right? The time not prescribed. So this was the thing in the second judge case. In the third judge case, the then president K.R. Narayanan, okay, he raised a question about the number of people participating in the collegium along with the CJI. So it was said that there will be the Chief Justice of India, and along with him there will be 4 other judges. 4 other judges or senior judges we can say, okay. So this was concluded in the third judge case. Now we'll talk about the NJAC. NJAC is what? It is National Judicial Appointments Commission. So NJAC, because of NJAC, the politicians also got an equal opportunity to have a say in the judicial appointments, which could have hampered the judiciary, the independence of the judiciary. Okay, so NJSC that came in the year 2014, okay, was scrapped in the year 2015. Okay, 2015 May it was scrapped. It was declared as null and void. Right? I hope this is clear to all of you. One more thing, in the second judge case also relates to SCAWRA. Okay, the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association, SCAWRA. Okay, this is the second judge case of 1993, which deals about the SCAWRA thing as well. This is called as the SP Gupta case, and this is about K.R. Narayanan, who raised the question about the composition of the collision. Okay. Now NJSC, you need to know what was NJSC's recommendation. NJSC recommended that there would be a CGI. Okay, NJSC said that there would be a CGI, of course. Then there will be 4 judges. Okay, there will be 4 judges. Along with them, there will be some eminent jurist. Okay, and along with them, there will be a law minister. And of course, when I write down law minister here, it's undoubtedly it should be clear that this is the political component which was asked to get involved in the collision. Okay, so that is what was not preferred, and that is why the NJAC system was declared as null and void. So NJAC system gave a composition of how many members? 6 members. 1, 2, 4 and 4, 5, 6 and this 1 CGI. Okay. So along with CGI, there were 6 members involved. Whereas in the third judge case, it was said that there will be the participation of CGI, and along with CGI, there will be 4 senior judges, right? So I hope this is clear to all of you. Now let us go back to the question and solve. Now if you look at the options here, the collision system is prescribed by the Constitution? No. I told you the reason, right? It consists of the Chief Justice of India with 2 senior most judges. With 2 senior most judges, is that the right statement? No. I told you the composition of the collision, right? National Judicial Appointment Commission Act 2014 was brought to replace the commission. Yes, it was brought to replace the commission, but later it got scrapped in the year 2015. Okay. So here we had to tell that which is not correct. Please be careful. So statement 1 is not correct and 2 is not correct. 1 and 2 is not correct, whereas 3 is correct. So A is the right answer. I hope this is clear to all of you. Yeah. Next, we'll go to question number 6. It talks about Ukraine, recently seen in the news due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, shares borders with which of the following countries? This is completely a map-based question. Recently, we've seen in news that Russia and Ukraine are in certain kind of conflict, and India has intervened for a peaceful settlement of the conflict, right? So that is the context of this question. We shall go and refer the map. So if I talk about Ukraine here, we need to see the bordering countries, right? So let us start with north. In the north, I see Belarus here. Okay, in the north, I see Belarus. In the east, there is Russia. Okay, east, it is surrounded by Russia. Okay, please make sure that Georgia does not share the border with Ukraine. Black Sea is to the south. Okay, just for your information. If I talk about the southwest, okay, if I talk about the southwest, this is Moldova, Romania, and yeah, Bulgaria also is not sharing the border. So Moldova and Romania is sharing the border in the southwest. Okay, and if I talk about the west, there is Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary. Okay, so these are the bordering countries. Let us refer to the question and check. Yeah, so which are the bordering countries? Yeah, so Belarus is sharing the border, Romania is sharing the border, Hungary is sharing the border, Georgia is not sharing the border. Okay, please be careful about that. So 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3 only. A is the right option. Right? A is the right option. And all of the things that we have marked is Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, we saw it was on the west. Okay. And Russia was on the east. And Romania and Moldova were Azov and Black Sea. Moldova to the southwest. Okay, we saw all this. Yeah, this is southwest. Now we'll go to the next question, which is question number 7. Which of the following constitutes Great Britain? Okay, so yeah, we're talking about the United Kingdom here. We have to check that Great Britain comprises of which all places. It's England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales. So I think we'll first refer to the map here. So here if we see the map, this is England, this is Wales, this is Scotland, and this is Northern Ireland. Okay, now we need to check whether this is a part of Great Britain or not. Okay, so first of all, let me explain you the entire concept here with the help of this diagram. We saw this Wales, okay, we saw England, and then we saw Scotland. So all this is a part of Great Britain. Okay, all this comprises of Great Britain. What did I say? Scotland, England, Wales will comprise of Great Britain. But if we talk about United Kingdom, okay, if I talk about United Kingdom, then there will be an involvement of Northern Ireland as well. Okay, so if the question asks about the places which comprises of United Kingdom, then Northern Ireland will also be included in that, along with Wales, England, Great Britain, right? I hope this is clear to you. But if the question is asking to you only about Great Britain, then there are only 3 places: Scotland, England, and Wales. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Now, here in this question, we only are concerned about the Great Britain. So it is England, Scotland, Wales. Northern Ireland is not there. But in case of United Kingdom, Northern Ireland would have been a part of it along with all 3, right? So 1, 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4. C is the right option. C is the right option, right? Yeah. Now we'll start question number 8 here. Question number 8 says, which of the following are the features of special economic zones? Special economic zones, okay? No license is required for import. Manufacturing or service activities is allowed. Special economic zone units will have freedom for subcontracting. No routine examination by customs authority or export or of export or import cargo is done, right? So select the answer correct, which is correct using the code. So we have to determine which of the statements are correct here. First of all, let us see what is special economic zones. So they are geographically bound zones wherein the economic laws in matter related to the imports and the export are broad-minded and are liberal. That means there are certain relaxations given for the import and the export activities. First of all, you need to know that special economic zones in India was established in the attempt to accelerate foreign investment, right? We all know the concept of Make in India, which is going since the past few years, right? And endorse the exports from India and recognizing the needs of the global platform to expose the domestic firms, okay? So the domestic producers, the domestic firms, okay, the local firms and the local producers of India, then they can get the international exposure. So that is one another reason why SEZ has been established in India. The announcement of formulating a SEZ policy in India was made by the government in the April year 2000 and was anticipated to be an overseas province for the purpose of commercial operations, duties and taxes. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Well, this is nothing really tough to understand. Now next I'll tell you how can you understand this concept of special economic zone, okay? So if this is India, there will be certain parts, okay? There will be certain parts which will be declared as the special economic zones, okay? Okay. This will be declared as the special economic zones. For what purpose? For the industries to come, okay, for the foreign industries to come, get settled here, okay, generate employment for the people of India, okay, and then give them opportunities, give them exposure, okay, and make in India, right? You know that they can come to India, they can have an establishment here, and then they can have their own production unit here. So there are benefits involved, right? First, the people of India, the producers, the local domestic producers get exposure, okay? Second, there is employment opportunities which are coming up for the people here, okay? So that is about the special economic zone. So there are certain advantages involved. Number one is it increases the export, okay. It promotes Make in India. It attracts investment, employment generation is there, development of infrastructure is there, and the forex is earned, okay. So these are the advantages of the special economic zones, right? Now, if I talk about the correct statements here, it says about no license is required, right? Of course, we read that this particular concept is very liberal and broad-minded. No license is required for imports here. This is correct, okay? Manufacturing or service activities are allowed, of course, without which this entire concept might fail, okay? SEZ units will have freedom for subcontracting. Yes, this is also true. They will have freedom of subcontracting. And second, no routine examination by customs authorities of export and imports cargo is done. This is also true. Okay. So, statement 1, 2, 3 and 4 all are correct. Okay. I hope you understood the concept of special economic zones. Yeah. So, D is the correct answer. All the statements were correct. Now let us take question number 9 here. Question number 9 says, with reference to the Northeastern Council, consider the following statements. It is the statutory body established for the economic and social development of 6th schedule areas in the northeastern states. Okay, please note this, 6th schedule areas in the northeastern states. We have to check that. The council is headed by the Prime Minister. I'll just clarify over this as well. Statement 1 is not correct because there are 8 states involved from the northeast, plus there are 4 other areas, okay, coming in the 6th schedule areas, okay. So you have to be careful about this particular statement. I'll clarify that further. But first of all, let us discuss the council is headed by the Prime Minister. No, even this is not correct, okay. Both of the statements are wrong. So neither one, neither two. So first of all, yeah. So like I told you, it's not headed by the Prime Minister. It is headed by the Home Minister as the ex officio chairperson of the council, okay. And the donor minister, what did I say? The donor, okay, donor minister, like development of northeastern region minister is the vice chairman, okay, is the vice chairman. And the council involves the governors and the chief ministers of the 8 northeastern states and as its members. So the members are the chief ministers and the governors, and the ex officio chairperson is the home minister, and the vice chairman is the donor minister, right? I hope this is clear. Now coming to statement number 1, which was causing a little bit of confusion there, let me clarify that the Northeastern Council is the statutory body, okay? Like I should tell you that it is established to have economic and social development of the northeastern states. It was established by amending the Northeastern Council Act of 1971, okay, in which year? In 2002. Now, the nodal agency for economic and social development of what? Of 8 northeastern region, okay, which includes 8, please count that, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura, okay. These are there, but along with this, there are 4 other states which are Schedule 6 areas. I want you to go to the comment box and please comment about the Schedule 6 areas, okay. Therefore, statement number 1 was not correct because it just said about the Schedule 6 areas in the northeast, right? Whereas this is talking about the 8 northeastern region, and these are the 8 states mentioned here, okay. Now, in the budget of 2022 to 2023, there has been a scheme which was announced by the Finance Minister. The scheme is PM Divine, okay, Development Initiative of Northeast, okay, PM Divine. This was the scheme, okay, this was the scheme that is announced in the budget 2022-2023, and this will be dealing about implementing certain policies and carrying out certain initiatives for the social and economic development of the Northeast, okay, and it will be implemented by the Northeastern Council. I hope this is clear to you. It was a very simple question. All you need to know was certain details about the council and who heads the council, right? Yeah, now we'll go ahead with the question number 10. Question number 10 talks about, with reference to the fundamental rights under the Indian Constitution, consider the following statements. They are protected and enforced by the Constitution. They can be amended by a simple majority. And the Supreme Court is the guardian of the fundamental rights. All constitutional rights are fundamental rights. We need to check which of the statements are correct. First of all, let's have a short discussion, a quick discussion about fundamental rights. So if we talk about fundamental rights, we know that fundamental rights are individual rights and they are enshrined in part 3 of the Constitution of India. Okay, fundamental rights are enshrined in part 3 of the Constitution, and from which article? Article 12 to Article 35 relates to fundamental rights. Okay, we got this concept of fundamental rights from the Constitution of USA, okay, where it is named as Bill of Rights. Okay, it is equal for all. It is not at all discriminatory in nature. Okay, fundamental rights are individual rights and it does not discriminate, okay, between or amongst the individuals. Next, we need to see that they are described as the Magna Carta of India. Okay, this is important. Please make a note of this. Fundamental rights are described as Magna Carta of India. I hope this is clear to all of you. Next, we will see there are so many fundamental rights that we have, like right to freedom of expression, right to freedom of religion, right to constitutional remedies, cultural and educational rights, rights against exploitation, and right to equality. Okay, so I want all of you to make a note of all the rights and the articles which are dealing with the particular rights. You may go to the comment section and write the fundamental right and the articles which relates to those particular rights. Right now, next we come back to the question and we see that they are protected and enforced by the Constitution. This is true. Okay, fundamental rights are protected and enforced by the Constitution. Like I said, they are also justiciable. What I mean is, if they are violated, an individual can approach to the court and can seek legal help, right? That makes them justiciable. They can be amended by a simple majority. Absolutely wrong. It's not that simple to amend a fundamental right. Okay, please understand, they cannot be amended by a simple majority. They need special majority. Okay, they need special majority. Now, if I talk about special majority, what I mean is there should be 2/3 of the members present and voting, which should be greater or equal to half of the total strength of the house. Okay, please remember this special majority thing. Next, this statement becomes wrong. The Supreme Court is the guardian of the fundamental rights. Yes, this is true. The Supreme Court is the guardian of fundamental rights. This statement is correct. All constitutional rights are fundamental rights? No. The Constitution itself gives the segregation of the constitutional rights as well as the fundamental rights. So, statement 4 is wrong. Only statement 1 and 3 is correct. B is the right answer. I hope this is clear to all of you. Yeah, B is the right answer. Yeah, so I hope you must have got to learn certain things from this particular discussion, and I hope all of your preparations are going great. Well, this is me, Twinkle. Like I always say, let's learn together, let's know together, and let's crack together. But before going, let me remind you about your task. Your task is to mention about the fundamental rights in the comment box and also mention about the articles relating to those particular rights. Till then, you guys take care. I'll see you back. Bye-bye.